Vaya Inspiración. I am back at it again with another video. So today, I want to talk about an experience that my wife and I had with Spirit Airlines. It wasn't just an experience. It was the worst experience ever on an airline. And it had to be in Miami International Airport. Yes, I said it. Miami and Spirit Airlines. Now, let me tell you what happened. This was over the winter break in December, right? Right after, I think it was the December 18th or the 17th. No, the 18th, I think it was. And we were on our way to Miami International Airport because we were flying to Atlanta for a little, getaway, vacation, and hanging out with a few friends as well. So everything was smooth from the house going to the airport. We were able to check in. We were go through the security checkpoint. Everything was fine. We were early, very early, so we were good. And we were excited because the weather in the temperature in Atlanta was pretty high, but it was raining, but it was all cool. So this is what happened, guys. So our flight was supposed to be around 10. No, I'm not at 10. Our flight was supposed to be around, our flight was at 10:30ish, around there. And we were supposed to arrive like around 12 something, close to 1 o'clock. And my wife and I were waiting online, we're just waiting and waiting. And we noticed something that is kind of taking a little bit long. And we noticed that there was no airplane outside. I'm like, oh snap, we don't even have a plane yet. They didn't even arrive. So we kind of figure, okay, we may have a little delay, no big deal or whatever, it's normal. And it turns out that finally the airplane arrived. And of course it had to take time because then the people that were in the airplane, they had to come out. And then they have to probably clean the airplane inside and check everything's fine with the airplane. And we started noticing these two cops that come, now they're on bicycles in the airport. These two cops started to come and they went into the airplane and it was empty. And we were just confused, like, what is going on? Why is there two cops going inside the airplane? Was there a bomb or something, a bomb threat? I don't know, but whatever. So it turns out that they mentioned that there was a delay. And I got tired of standing up. Most people were actually sitting down on the floor in the line. I have a little small footage on that. You can watch the video of my vlog channel, of my vlog trip to Atlanta. And, my wife and I, we were just sitting down and waiting and waiting. And mind you, we've been there since 9:30. And you started seeing more cops coming and more cops. I'm like, what in the world is going on? Our flight was already delayed by like over an hour. And then boom, 12:30, and we're still on the line. We were supposed to already arrive in Atlanta, but it was already 12:30, and I didn't know what was going on. Didn't even announce anything that something was going on or there was gonna be more delays. So I was like, I need to find out because I don't want to be lost. So my wife went to check on the board where it says all the times and the flight and where it's flying, what flight is what and what airplane is going to where. So she did say that that our terminal has changed. We were in J4 and so supposedly our flight had changed to G4. And I'm like, oh snap. And then I went to go ask the cop just for confirmation. The cop said, yeah, it changed to G4. So my wife and I, we kind of rushed over to the other terminal. That was a long walk. And throughout that whole time, my wife was on the phone, trying to get in touch with the rental car company so we can let them know that we're going to be there late because of the delay. But the crazy thing is that we did not know that we didn't even have to call because I think they give you like a 6-hour window before they cancel, your car rental or whatever the case may be. So we speed walk all the way to G4. We had to go through security checkpoint again. And we go to G4 and there was only a few people there and it seemed like it was empty. Like the walls were not even fully painted. I'm like, what is going on? So we were like, oh boy. And we saw some people that were on J4 with us. They kind of turned around, or we kept going. We didn't know what to do. So we kept going up to like G7. And we asked one of the people on the front desk, hey, this flight, such and such, you know where it's going? And he was like, oh, go check in G12 or G10. So we go there, and the guy said, well, it's actually in J4 where you actually were to begin with. And they're already boarding the plane. Bro, I was mad, but there was no time to be mad and staying there. We literally had to go almost running back to Terminal J. Not only going back to Terminal J, we had to go through another security checkpoint. This was the third time going through security checkpoint. And when I finally got to the lady to show her my ID, I think she swiped it or she put it in the machine, and it shows up on the computer, and she said, oh, there's no flight information coming up under your name. I'm like, what do you mean? That's impossible. This is the third time I go through security checkpoint. I originally started in J4. And she was like, oh, she checked again, and it was not showing any flight information. I was already getting upset, right? And it was a Spanish lady. I was getting upset, and I'm like, that's impossible. We need to check again. So they checked my wife's ID, and her flight information shows up. And the lady was like, oh, she can go. I'm like, no, she ain't going because she's my wife. We bought the tickets, and we're flying together. And I'm like, can I go check on the other guy on the other computer? She was like, yeah, go ahead. So I go to the other guy, and he checks my ID, he puts it in the machine, and it shows the same information, no flight. But the guy was like, oh, you're good to go. All we need to see your ID and your boarding pass and whatever. Bro, I was mad. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So whatever. We go through security checkpoint. We're like my heart is beating fast. I'm like, yo, I cannot miss that flight. So we finally go through security checkpoint. We and it's still like another 10 minutes to get to the plane. And we were walking fast, and my wife was, trying to catch her breath. And I have long legs, so I was already ahead of her, and she was getting frustrated telling me to wait, but I'm like, damn. And finally, when we got to the door, thank God they did not close the gate. We made it to the airplane, and it was a relief. Like, we felt so much better. I don't care if there was going to be another delay, as long as we were inside the plane. So finally, when we had took off and landed in Atlanta, there was another 15-minute delay because the gate was occupied. It was busy. So I'm like, here we go again. So it was already 4 o'clock or 4:30, close to 5 by the time that we arrived in Atlanta. This was the worst Spirit Airline experience in my life. Now, I'm not saying that American Airlines or United or JetBlue or whatever did not have, or other people did not have bad experiences with them, but I'm just telling you my experience. I'm not telling you not to get Spirit, even though they charge an arm and a leg for a carry-on, and the plane is so small, and it was just a mess. It was a mess. But finally, when we got to Atlanta, this is not part of the Spirit Airline story, but I have to share this. When we got to the hotel, they gave us the key, room 604. By the time we got up there was a 2 cleaning services lady. They were Cubans, I think, and they were like, "Oh, are you going to that room in 604?" I'm like, "Yeah." Oh, because the doorknob is not working. I'm like, what is going on? So we go back downstairs. We get another key to room 406. Finally, it works. We go in there. What a relief. It was already 6 o'clock, 6:30, almost 6:30. So we took a quick shower because our friend Brittany was going to come pick us so we could go out to eat for dinner. And she said she only lives she was going to be there by 12 to 15 minutes. And it took her 45 minutes to get to the hotel because there was some traffic and they closed some intersection. I don't know what was going on. But that night was pretty much a waste. So we didn't have dinner till almost 10 o'clock. We got back to the hotel at 12 midnight. But the rest of the trip was great. Coming back home was great. But guys, this was the worst experience with Spirit Airlines. Oh my goodness. And I felt sorry more for my wife because, you know, I have more energy than her. I have longer legs. So I was able to walk or run faster, and, you know, she was behind. So that was our experience going to Atlanta. And Miami Airport, I don't like Miami Airport. It sucks. It really does. The way they do things. Atlanta was so much better, so much smoother. But thank God we didn't fly back in Spirit Airlines. We flew back in Frontier, which is very cheap, even though some people say it's like sitting on the floor, but whatever, we were fine. And I had leg room only because I was sitting by the emergency exit. So, but anyways, I just wanted to share that. If you had a very bad experience with an airline, please comment below. Let me know which airline and what happened. I want to laugh. I hope that don't happen again. I hope I don't go through another experience again. But it's possible because I am traveling back home to New Jersey again in a few months. So, yeah. Anyways, guys, I'll talk to y'all later. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, like my channel, and hit that notification button. Peace.